Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. And look at this incredible sunny day. And the only car that passed in the last 5 minutes. New state, new city. And I'm gonna reveal later in this live stream where I am exactly. Wow, there's so many people around here. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm starting in a residential little spot here because it's more quiet. Up to literally 30 seconds ago, there was nobody around. So I need to kind of whisper because I don't want to disturb people. Also, it's, you know, it's Sunday, it's resting day. But look at this house. I thought it was so beautiful. And yeah, I'm glad it's there as a nice background for the start of the live stream. Let's start walking around. So I still don't know how the internet connection is gonna be. I'm sorry if it's gonna be laggy or spotty. In case that happens, I will still later today upload the full recording of this video. I just saw this murales. Is it called murales? It's not. It's just a interesting. Oh, it's a wood panel. Pretty nice. So I am couch surfing today through the website couchsurfing.org. In case somebody doesn't know it, it's a way of traveling that I particularly love because it allows you to connect with locals wherever you are and stay at their place. So you get free accommodation, sure, but it's really much more than that. You really find a new friend, even if it's the first time that you meet. And yeah, he was telling me a little bit about this neighborhood, which is his neighborhood. And he told me that it used to be the black neighborhood of this city. Now it got sort of gentrified in the last few years, but it still retains a lot of the older charm. So many of the houses that you can see date back from the 19th century. So from the second half of the 1800, which I mean, it's pretty impressive for United States. And by the way, I haven't revealed the state where I am now. If you're watching this in replay, probably I will put it in the title so you know already. But can I go? Can I go? There's a car. But yeah, I'm seeing that the internet connection is lagging again. I hope you're watching this in replay, so you're gonna be able to follow the entire video. We are going back to a more busy street now, getting out of the residential area. Let me see your comments before I enter this more business area. Ciao Elisa, good morning. Hello Poco Traveler, Dario, Daniele, Jason, Lele, Jitesh. Hello everyone. Claire, take 7. Hi everyone. Good morning, Ralph. Ralph, thank you for being here. One of my biggest patrons and the moderator for this chat. He's gonna give you some instructions. For example, put a like to this live stream if you're liking it. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera now and show you a little bit around. Just passed in front of this place. Hi Raul, hi Kanasha from the Caribbean, amazing. Hey Joe, look. Hello Judith, another one of my patrons, also moderator of this chat. Thanks for being here. Hi Johannes. Many patrons are online. I'm so glad to see you all. Hi. Guybrush writes, you should visit Colorado for the best mountain scenery ever. I know I would love to visit Colorado one day. It is so quiet. It's about noon here, like middle of the day, and it's Sunday. And honestly, I don't know if it's because this city is so quiet in general or if it's just on Sunday, but everything is so calm and peaceful. So far, I must say that I'm getting some Brooklyn vibes, if I have to be completely honest. Judith, yes, I got a chance to visit the giant redwoods. Yes. So I left California, as you read from the title if you're watching this live. I'm in a different state now, and it's a state where I've never been before. Just like California, it was the first time in my trip. I'm in a different state, so right before leaving California, I went and visited a redwood forest. It's been an experience, definitely, and I'm preparing a video about my experience in California. It's gonna be a little bit of a different video. I didn't shoot my usual travel vlogs there. It's gonna be more of a collection of impressions that I got from my 2 weeks in California, so wait for that one. Probably next Sunday it's going to come out. The redwoods video is not out yet. It's gonna come out probably next Sunday. I mean, this is actually very interesting. Wishing tree. Write a wish to the tree. This is the kind of things that I like a lot about the United States. You don't really find them in Europe all that much, especially in Italy. They're very creative, I think. Love them. I'm glad you're all looking forward to the California video. I'm experimenting with a little bit of a new style, so I'm curious to see how you're gonna like it, simply. I'm glad to see that the connection is a bit better than San Francisco. Surprisingly, because this city is not so famous for technology. Please, if you see it buffering during this live, I'm really sorry about that. I cannot control the internet connection, unfortunately, but this video is gonna be uploaded later in its normal form, like without laggings, without interruptions. So yeah, if you get tired of seeing this live stream because of the interruptions, don't worry, come back tonight or tomorrow. You're gonna find the whole thing undisturbed. So I think I'm gonna get some food during this live stream. I think maybe here on the left. I was suggested to go to a place, but of course, because I'm using the phone to do this live stream, I cannot check Google Maps, so I'm not sure if it is here. And I mean, as for San Francisco, this is the first time I visit this place, so I'm really exploring it for the first time with you. So yeah, you're getting my very first impressions. I'm not knowledgeable about this place at all. I'm just roaming around. Hope you appreciate it. I see also here they have balconies. Sorry, this is something that I really look for when I travel in the United States, because in New York City there are not many buildings with residential buildings with balconies, and it's something that I really miss. Also, my apartment doesn't have one. I really miss having an outdoor space. Ah, look at this, Cocoa Donuts. Yes, this is exactly the place I was looking for. Hello there. Okay, so I'm gonna, one moment, sit you here. And it's time for take off my sweater. Hi there. It's such a gorgeous sunny day today. It's one of those, you know, spring warm days. I've been hearing that in Italy they are suffering a heat wave right now. I don't know if it's suffering or if it's a nice heat wave. Good for you, because I've been suffering a cold wave in California. Okay, let's get inside. It's the first time that I bring a live stream inside a store. So the reason why I'm getting a donut is because I've never had a donut in my life except the Dunkin' Donuts that are a very bad American chain. And apparently this city is kind of famous for donuts. I don't know, they told me donuts are a thing here, so let's try them. Wow. Okay. Okay, there you go. Kind of in a shade here. It's fine. I should flip the phone. Wait. Okay, there you go. Now I can see the screen. Sorry about that. I've seen that inside there was no internet connection. Sorry about that. Again, everything's gonna be in the replay. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna upload the full version. Hi C Daily. No, I'm afraid it's the internet connection here. I don't know. I have a normal unlimited traffic data plan and I cannot control the internet connection, obviously, so I don't really know what to do about it. Trying to do my best. I know that in there was no internet connection, but as I will repeat multiple times in this live stream, right after I finish this live stream, I'm gonna upload the full recording of this live stream. So if you lose patience with the live stream, you can rewatch it later with no interruptions. Maybe I should have gotten a napkin. I thought it would be already in the bag. So I asked for a classic donut because I've never had a donut. Have I ever had a donut? I don't think so. I mean, I've had those $0.99 donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. People told me they don't count. This is what you get. No napkin, whatever. So I got it's called glazed donut. There's sugar glaze all over the place. Okay, buon appetito. Very nice, but this is I mean, I know it's my first time eating a donut, but this is really the same thing as Kapfen. It's an Austrian type of sweet pastry. It's just that they don't make it with the hole in the middle. They make it It's like a big ball of fried soft pastry, and then they put usually a little bit of jam as a filling in the middle instead of the whole, and then they also usually put some powdered sugar on top. It's called Kupfen. They're good. In Berlin they call that Berliner, which I never understood why. David, si chiama ciambella in italiano. Yeah. So in Italian, ciambella means anything that has this shape, really. So it could be even a pillow or one of those things that save your life when you're drowning in the water. Yeah, so donut is really not translatable very easily in Italian. You're all telling me about this Krispy Kreme donut. Don't know what that is. It's really nice and soft. This must be a good donut. I mean, my Couchsurfing host just suggested me this place, so he knows about it. Because it's nice and soft, it's not oily, it's not heavy at all. I like the sugar glazing. Like, it's very simple, but it creates a nice texture on the outside. It's not crunchy, but it's something, I don't know, you should try it. I don't know how to explain it. It creates a nice texture. You know, one thing I've noticed about our Italian way of perceiving food by traveling outside of Italy is that we pay a lot of attention to textures. I haven't seen other cuisines really paying so much attention to texture like we do. I feel like we don't pay much attention to the looks of food, which is a thing in many countries. Like, we just plate our plate however it comes. We don't care so much that they look good, but we do care about the texture being right. One example of that should be the pasta. For us, it's super important that it's al dente, it's cooked at the right second, you know? So about voodoo donuts, there is a whole thing around voodoo donuts. But oh, Johannes, hello. Thanks for the super chat. Have a drink on me. You know what? I might. I think you better get it now because I'm finishing the donut now, so it might be a bit late, but maybe I get it later. Is it worth if I get it later? Do you still give me a tip on that? Thank you very much on the tip. I appreciate it. David, thank you very much for your tip too. Krispy Kreme è una catena americana delle ciambelle. Yes, but David, it would be better if you wrote in English, just because you know, English is something that everyone can understand. Italian, I have to translate it, but it's fine. I will translate it. E anche ti informo che si davano ciambelle gratuite in cambio per 2 dosi del vaccino. Ooh, that's interesting. David is saying that Krispy Kreme is an American chain of donuts, and also they're used to, during COVID, if you got the vaccine, sometimes you would get free donuts in exchange for that. Good to know. in Italy, or at least in my region in Friuli, if you go donate blood, you get like free chocolate and free coffee, I think. So I'm gonna put them sunglasses on because it is really sunny today. I see that you discovered where I am. Was that because of the donut? Mm-hmm. I'm curious about it because before I came to this place, nobody guessed where I was exactly. So I'm gonna drink some water for now, but later Steven sponsored a real drink. So I'm gonna get something else. I've never eaten or drank anything in this live stream, so this is also a new thing.
That's a place that I find if I was sitting towards yeah.
Hi William. William is asking what state and city I am right now. Some people already guessed. I'm gonna wait a little bit more to tell you. Ralph, in the meantime, thank you, my moderator for this live chat, is reminding you to check out my website. And this is very important. Ralph, thank you very much for reminding me, because my new newsletter is coming out, I think next week or so. So I have a newsletter that is not so much about the news, but more about a certain topic that I discussed in the newsletter. And I have a collaborator, which is Jorge, who helps me write it down. We write a little bit of it's a sort of an essay. It's a 15 minutes reading. And right now the topic we are discussing about is communication on the internet. I graduated in philosophy in university, and so and I wrote a master thesis about exactly how internet is changing our world. And so I'm trying to make it easy for everyone to understand these kind of philosophical concepts, but it's really about how the communication works on the internet and what consequences does it have? What consequences does it have that the communication has become so easy and so quick? The speed of information became so fast. It has many very significant consequences for us being in this world and interacting with each other, and that's exactly what I discussed in my newsletter. I release or I send one episode every month or two. Now I took a break of 2 months, but I have the next episode ready. I just have to send it out. So subscribe to my newsletter. You can go on my website, watershaymaryjane.com, and you'll find the subscription form there. It's free. You can unsubscribe whenever you want. Amira says that I don't have a ring on if I got divorced. I wonder, Emirates, if you would ask me the same thing if you were sitting right in front of me now. That was a bit of a rude question, I think. but I'm gonna answer anyway. And no, I never wore a ring. I have one, but I wear it only sometimes. I didn't bring him for this trip. Judith, super chat for a cool beverage. Thank you so much, Judith. I appreciate it. Actually, I think maybe I'm gonna need a cool beverage because it's getting really nice and hot. I know Americans don't appreciate the heat so much, and I know why, because in many areas it gets very humid and hot and it's gross, but I love the heat. I suffer the cold a lot, so this is amazing for me. Okay, sorry, I'm very slow at eating. That's probably why I never eat during this live stream, because I would take forever. So I just came from home. I just washed my hands, the left one. Didn't have a napkin, but I had this beautiful paper bag, which looks very white and clean, so it's probably not made of recycled paper. Just a quick reflection on this. Something that really bothers me in the United States is that if you get something to eat or to drink at a place and you intend to stay in that place, they are still gonna give you a disposable cup or a disposable bag to carry the food around. For example, now she put the donut in this bag, and this bag is basically clean now, but I'm gonna have to throw it in the garbage anyways. And because I'm not home, I'm not gonna have a recyclable kind of garbage, you know? So this is gonna go in the landfill, and it's such a waste. Like, why would you do that? Why didn't you give me a little plate? I eat it and I give it back. That's how it works in Italy, or really in many places in Europe that I know. Whereas here in the United States, they always give you the disposable stuff. I'm sorry, but this really bothers me. There's no reason why you would do that. Just to save yourself a little effort of putting some cups and plates in the dishwasher. Don't like that. So, perfectly clean paper bag. I'll have to throw it away. I'm gonna put it in my backpack for now. Okay. I just forgot. The reason why I don't eat so much during live streams is maybe because I'm very slow, especially if I talk while eating, and then I get even slower at eating. Reason why I don't drink is because then I need to pee and I cannot bring the live stream into the bathroom, so that might be a problem. I forgot this. I don't need the sweater. AIM AM, efficiency is king, profit over sustainability, more customers in and out with less time wasted cleaning dishes. Get with it, Watershed Mary Jane, LOL. Yes, I know, that's the reason why Americans behave like this, have this kind of business model, but the thing is that it all depends on the perspective you see things from. So Americans would see this as a wasted time, but maybe somebody else would see this as a waste of natural resources. You know, it's not a waste of time, it's just a tiny investment of time to save massive amount of resources. Oops. Hello, Andreas. I'm very good today. How are you? Okay, let's keep walking because I want to take you to a specific neighborhood of this city that is close by. And it's not this one. But I knew I wanted to try a donut and I thought about trying it in front of the camera. So that's what we, ooh, look at this place. Brunch is back. Look, oh my God, look at that terrace. Look, I'm not in a city where the weather is really that great. And yet somehow they managed to have a terrace to eat outdoors. Why New York City cannot think about that? Gregory, please don't get sunburned. Melanoma is serious. You are very much right. And let's go this way. I'm tired of waiting for the light. You're very right. Actually, I've said this before, but I'm gonna repeat it. I am trying a new sunburn managing technique this year. What? Okay, let me explain you. Usually what I'm used to do. Hey David, thanks for the super chat again. Questa volta scrivo in inglese come richiesto. This time I will write in English as you requested. Thank you very much. There's tons of things about US that I can't stand. The plate versus paper bag is a small thing to me. Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It's just a, I would say it's a type of, like a little thing that shows what's the attitude here and what's the mentality. So that's what I meant by that. That's why I took it as such a little thing. Ooh, beautiful flowers. Not gonna show it to you. It's incredible. I'm trying to flip the camera with the finger. I cannot get the right point while walking. It's also not working. Oh my God, why is this not working? Come on. Okay, we made it. Look at these bike lanes, huh? Not bad. I know it was buffering, I'm sorry about that. And look at so much green. Alionor, super chat received. Thank you very much. That was a very generous super chat. Thank you. Beautiful houses. I find the architecture quite interesting here. I mean, not interesting, but prettier.
What? Those alliums with the giant flowers? Oh yeah, the purple ones. They also come in white.
There are so many people cycling. Nice. Look at this. There's plenty of them. I guess it's still buffering, isn't it? Because I get a notification in the app that I'm using that the transmission is unstable. I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to walk towards the neighborhood where I'm going, and hopefully the internet is gonna improve. Okay, there are a couple of interesting comments that arrived that I would like to address. So one is the assumption of wastefulness is not as accurate as many might think. Paper, pulp, and timber industries have become exponentially more sustainable with time, as well as recycling processes. It's not about being able to recycle and be very energy efficient. It's about producing something that goes to waste. And I don't, like, people seem to not really understand this. Like, recycling is not a solution. Recycling is just limiting the problem a little bit of waste, but it's still waste. Like, you need tons of energy to recycle something. Oh wow, so many crows. You need a lot of... Hi, pretty. You need tons of energy to recycle something, and not all the materials that are recycled are actually reused for something else. So really the way to go, the solution, is not to recycle, it's just to use less stuff, to throw in the garbage less stuff in general. Wow. Sorry, in the meantime, I don't know, I cannot not show you this. This is just a random residential area, and it's so pretty. I could live on a tent here, honestly. This is so peaceful. Okay, we're back with good connection. No, we are not. Okay. I hope you're enjoying the playback if you're watching this in playback. Wow. Are you kidding me? This is the prettiest residential neighborhood in the US I've ever seen, I think. When I see many black people, so it must be, yeah, still a very black neighborhood. Look how colorful this house is. Oh my God. Good morning. Hey. that. Enjoying life. Okay. Actually, let me stop for a second because here I see that there is good internet connection. I want to address a comment which is by Steven. Oh no, I missed it. There it is. Steve wrote, please stop using sweeping generalizations when speaking out the United States. It is a very large country full of a huge amount of diversity, landscapes, cultures, and policies. Yes, Steve, you are very right. And I know that you Americans really don't like to be put in a box as Americans. But you also have to understand that you are a country and you do have a certain uniqueness in your mentality, your practices, your habits, your the way you manage society and systems. You do have a certain uniformity. It's just that it's hard to see it if you have just lived in the United States, because if you just live in this country, you just see the differences between state and area and city and city. But if you go somewhere else in the world, you start seeing your country from the outside, and you will start seeing that there is a certain homogeneity. I hope it's the right word in English. So the generalizations that I do are generalizations, and I do them for every country that I visit. And I do agree that United States is an unusually large country and unusually diverse. But at the same time, you have to understand that it's still a country. You are still managed by the same government. You still have similar laws. You have similar stores. You have the same language. I picked this comment because I get this quite often by Americans, especially in my videos where I compare Italy and America, or I talk about American culture, and Americans get very triggered and they tell me, oh, you cannot generalize America. But I can, I'm sorry, but I can. It's a generalization. So generalization doesn't have the, you shouldn't expect that every American fits in a generalization that someone makes. It is a generalization, so it will have big chunks of the population or of the country that don't fit in the description. That's it. Sorry, I stopped because of internet connection. I don't want to lose it. So yeah, now we can finally say it. I'm in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in Oregon, for the first time in Portland. And what can I say? I'm loving it. I really have to say, I haven't visited the city much. Oh no, internet connection is gone again. Yeah, I'm really loving the city, although I haven't seen so much of it, but it's just that instinct that you have, that first impression. I've just had a really great first impression. Then maybe, I might be wrong. Maybe if I stayed here for a few months, I would change idea. But so far, just for really going around for a few hours, it seems like such a cool place. It reminds me a lot of Berlin, which is my favorite city on earth, Berlin. So, I mean, you can understand that I like Portland. Ooh, I see that the discussion about American generalization is getting hotter. I'm sorry, because in the replay you're not going to be able to see the discussion, but I'm gonna try to read some comments. Oh my god, there are so many flowers. They're so pretty. Look at this. So Steve answered, the United States is not managed by one government. I disagree, MJ. I really enjoy your channel, and that's why I'm here. We are governed far more by local governments than by our federal governments. Again, I'm sorry, many other countries are federal countries. I know you have local governments, but still, you also have a federal government. And the federal government has huge power among so many aspects of the society and the economy and foreign politics. Sorry about that, it's just the way it is. Have you ever lived abroad for more than 3 months? If the answer is no, you are just, I'm sorry, but you're just not able to see the uniqueness of United States in comparison to other countries. So JK, for example, wrote, it is fine to generalize. For example, all Italians eat spaghetti every day. You know, I read these comments all the time on the internet, and also other YouTubers. You know, I follow many American or foreign YouTubers that live in Italy, for example, and they talk about the culture in Italy and what they see around them. And most of them really live in Milan. And so many of the features that they talk about, they are very specific of Milan area. But I don't get offended. Like, I just put their channel in a context where they are living in Milan. They have not seen the entire Italy. And so I say, yes, you're right. The Italians that you have seen have this specific characteristic. I don't understand why Americans get offended so much. Also, Italians, like, if this is the terms, I should get so much offended by so many things that Americans in their country call Italian and Tuscan just for marketing reasons, and they're not Italian at all. They're not Tuscan at all. Italian salad dressing, Italian sausages, Italian meatballs, all these things, they are not Italian. Like, be aware of that. But we don't go around being offended because Americans just take our name and make whatever they want with it. I mean, it's fine. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. In the meantime, I don't know if you notice that I am in just the most random neighborhood, and it's so pretty. I don't know if I picked a particularly pretty neighborhood of Portland or what. David, hello. David is one of my patrons, so he has the priority. So I'm gonna read his comments. Hello MJ, I just joined. Hi David, welcome to the live stream. The main reason I watch your channel and other foreigners' channels is to get a different perspective in America. Your viewpoint is valid. Of course you generalize, we all do. Thank you. Yes, I do generalize, but I say it all the time. Like, generalizing is not a negative connotated word, at least in my language. It's just a way of speech. Like, you can talk in detail about specific things, or you can make generalizations. It doesn't mean that the first one is good and the second one is bad. It's just two different ways of talking about things. Hi Stephanie! Stephanie is another one of my patrons that I just met for the very first time in California in person. That was great. Hi, I'm Bas from Treviso. MAM says Americans get more offended because there is more ethnic variety and cultural variety compared to Italy, for example. They have the largest immigrant population in the world. To generalize isn't logical. This is also very almost funny for me to hear from Americans that they say. So first of all, I don't understand why you should get offended if there is more ethnic variety. Second, the fact that there is more cultural variety for you. Let me pull out the paper map that my Couchsurfing host kindly gave me so that I can see where I am. So to us, no, this is the paper bag of the donut. When you say cultural variety, you say variety or diversity? Yes. So now transmission isn't stable. No, let's go on. When you say that in America there is more cultural variety than in Italy, to me I don't say that it's not true, but it sounds a bit weird because you have cultural variety in terms of you are very international, but American culture, like the culture of the country, is not very varied at all. It's kind of uniform. I'm sorry. It's like, from our point of view, it's very uniform. We have more cultural variety than you from our point of view. Then, of course, we can discuss about it. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it's a point to keep in mind. It's a very debatable point, in my opinion. Okay, sorry. Where's the map? Okay, so Ralph is suggesting you in the live chat to visit my website. It's whatashamemaryjane.com. There is extra free content there that people maybe don't realize if they just stay on YouTube. There is extra free content. For example, I have a list of places that I'm curating progressively, of little hidden gems that I visit around the world. And I want to put them all in a list on my website so that you can get inspiration for your next trip, sort of thing. Because these kind of places are not easy to find in tourist websites or tours in general. And there are places where you will not find crowds of people that are not locals. So I think that's really good. And you can subscribe to the newsletter. Please subscribe to the newsletter because the next episode is coming up in about a week. And I only send the newsletter once every either 1 month or 2 months. So make sure to do it right away. I have a nice paper map that my Couchsurfing host lent me. You say lent me? I hope you can hear the birds in the meantime. Okay, ready to keep going. Let me flip the camera. We have a little bit more of residential area like this to walk. I hope you don't mind. I'm really enjoying it, like with this summer day and all the flowers they have. And I don't know, I think they are so incredibly beautiful. I'm really happy to be walking here, honestly. I hope you don't mind that. Can we talk about this tree in the middle of the garden? Honestly, I don't see in the East Coast this type of yards around houses. I feel like in the East Coast people like to keep things very homogeneous with just grass. Wow, that tree was impressive. Look at this other one. This must be a center of some sort. Doesn't look residential. Looks like they have some gear for live music there. I wonder if they are gonna have a live concert going on today that it's Sunday. Nice Volkswagen. What? Oh my God, I pronounce it like the Americans do. Volkswagen. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm stunned. Look at this. We are back with the connection. I repeat, sorry about the interruptions of the connection. Later today I'm gonna upload the full version with no interruptions so that you can play it back like easily and freely. Thank you, Elisa, for the super chat. I saw that. Thank you very much. Look at these gardens. They're kept in such a, I don't know, kind of free and more wild way, except this one is not. This is more like what you would see in the East Coast, I would say. My impression, at least. I might be wrong. watercolor and the contrast between the blue purple and the dark green of the leaves. Think about having this right by your sidewalk in your neighborhood or at the entrance of your house. And look at these roses. Ah, amazing. Shall we see if they smell? Oh my God, they do. Ooh, beautiful. JK is asking if the internet in the US is really this sucky. Not in the East Coast, where I usually live and hang out. In the West Coast, I've had major internet problems. I don't know what it is. Yes, Stephanie, I am on 5G. I'm constantly on 5G and it constantly does not work properly. Okay, these houses look extremely wealthy. Like we enter to a next level kind of housing in this block. But this greenery from the trees, oh my God! Wow. Let me check where I am. I need to check the map again. Again, look at this road and the trees. Oh my God. Ah, look, this house has a peace flag that it's also rainbow. So, fun fact, in Italy, as a peace flag, we use the rainbow flag. And then I came to the US and I discovered that here the rainbow flag is really a LGBTQ community symbol. So it's kind of weird. So in Italy, our peace flags, like the standard one, is exactly like this. It's just without the A. It's peace in Italian, pace. Oh, and here we have an old church. Okay, we need to check it out. This looks very interesting. Again, these flowers. Oof. And a boat. Oh wow. Hello. Oh, and it smells divine. It smells like honey. Huh. What a building. Huh. check the map again. Maybe I'll keep it out now. You know, I'm sure you cannot hear this, but there's a huge buzzing of bees that are probably all over my head on this tree. So peaceful here. Sorry, my gimbal is not collaborating. 1 second. Okay, let me see if I'm walking, where I'm walking. I should be in this area. It's kind of hard to read the streets. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to ask for directions. And I need to put in charge my phone. Is there anyone who gets lost more in the US cities with the grid structure than in European cities? Because I do. I don't know what it is. Like, this grid kind of system just throws me off because everything looks the same. And yeah, I just get lost all the time. Not that I'm lost, I mean, I know where I am. I just don't know how much distance I need to walk, or maybe if I pass the block that I wanted to go to. Nice to hang out in the garden. It's such a beautiful day. People have told me that it's not been as good weather as yesterday and today since, I mean, it's been the first time this spring. So At least here I've been lucky, not like in California. Hi, excuse me. To Alberta?
Alberta's out there.
Oh, so I passed it already.
Yeah, it's
How many blocks?
Killingsworth,
Okay,
and then the next major.
on the left.
Well, if you go straight down, you'll hit Alberta.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
I knew I passed it. It's just too beautiful of a neighborhood. It's I could honestly walk the entire afternoon here. May peace prevail on earth. Wow, to write that and inspire. Oh yes, oh yes. Actually, so another thing that I noticed here is that they use double language, English, Spanish, which is not really. It's not the case, for example, in New York, where there is such a huge Latino community. They don't use the double language. Like sometimes they'll have, I mean, often they have the translation in Spanish, but not on public transportation all that much, for example. And here they truly do. I was impressed because the kid is in the cargo bike. Cute. Like Northern Europe. I was impressed because we are so far away from Mexico, for example. And I would be surprised if the Latino community in Portland is bigger than, let's say, in New York. Any thoughts on that? Anybody knows why? The rhododendrons are in bloom, says David. Oh yes, Stephanie, I think the connection was interrupted. I simply asked if anyone knows why in Portland, which is so far away from Mexico, and it's not really famous for having such a huge Latino community, the public announcements are given into double language, English and Spanish, by default. Which is, I mean, it's not, my experience in New York is different with the language. Okay, I'm sorry if you're watching this in replay. I'm gonna have to repeat again because people live are not understanding. I keep getting cut off. I can't believe there's such bad internet connection in the West Coast, in these super high-tech cities. They don't have proper internet connection. So as you can see, we are on the main road here, and still the connection is not working. It's pretty incredible. Okay, I don't know where I am. Amazing, and I can't really find this Killingworth. Oh, by the way, if someone wants to help me with Google Maps, I'm on Northeast Killingsworth. You're not able to hear me probably. Oh, there's homeless people here, so should not go there. So just for you to understand, this kind of situation is extremely common here in Portland. And my friend coming here, she warned me, she told me that the situation with homelessness is out of control, is the expression that she used right now. And I must say it's quite impressive. This is not where I should be. Okay, I think connection is back here. This is becoming a bit difficult. Can anybody with Google Maps tell me if Killingsworth, Northeast Killingsworth, it's northern or southern of Alberta Street, or Alberta, I don't know, it's called Alberta. Alberta is the next major street parallel to Killingsworth to the south. Oh, so I have to go 1 block south more. Thank you, Jason. You're saving me now, because I really was... So the map that I have actually finishes on the northern side in Alberta Street, so I could not see Killingsworth. But I also, there are not all names of streets, so I really didn't know whether I was north or south of Alberta. Yeah, thank you. So, I don't know, I probably got cut off in the live stream. If you're watching on replay, you've seen the tents on the sidewalk. And I was saying that there is a lot of homelessness in Portland right now. And I think it's a new problem because my friend actually told me about it. Like, she told me, look, yeah, the situation is out of hand. I don't know, it's really so strange to see for me. And I was complaining about New York City and the amount of homelessness that has been increasing, of course, with the pandemic. But I must say San Francisco and Portland are much worse. Although here in Portland, they look kind of cleaner. It's not the right word, cleaner, but they look more organized. Like, they have their own tents and they kind of keep their stuff within or around their tents, which I think is also maybe better for them. Like, they have to move around less. In New York, at least in my neighborhood, the East Village, homeless people, they get, I don't know how to explain in English, but police just comes like once or twice a week and just have them move away from the spot where they put their tent. And probably if they're not in the tent, they throw away the tent and all their belongings. And I really think it's stupid. Like, it's not humane, first of all, and it's also not effective. Because I mean, they're just gonna go one block away and start again and just leave garbage around, whereas maybe if they have their own tent, their own corner of the sidewalk, they can at least feel like that's their space. Okay. See someone there. Let's hope I can ask. No, don't go inside. I think I'm still lost because I went actually 2 blocks south, and I'm still not on Alberta. This is Sumner. I'm on Sumner and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Such a long name. And there are, okay, let me flip the camera. Alberta next signal. I mean, yeah, there's direction to Alberta for cars. What a nice place to walk. I ended up 4 lanes road. Oh my god, I see the sign Alberta in the distance. This has been so much harder than I expected. Okay, I'm sorry for taking so long, but I finally arrived to this famous Alberta. I say famous Alberta simply because it's one of those, sorry, there's a bus, very loud. Simply because it's one of those neighborhoods that are kind of an interesting spot to visit in the city. And so I thought, okay, let's go. And too much traffic noise. Let's talk later. my god, oh my god, this is such a good sign to see. Okay, green light. This looks like a terrible road to walk on. Why is this famous? Okay, let's hope that a little bit further it's more interesting. Bonjour, Tony, from France. Someone asked if I've studied the fall of the Roman Empire. Yes, I studied at an Italian public school, of course. Okay, I'm sorry for this part, it's really boring. Hi there. I really don't know what to think about this. As I said, it's my first time in Portland. I'm exploring this first time with you, and I cannot make use of Google Maps, which is what I usually use to orientate myself and to find the cooler spots. This Alberta street was supposed to be a very nice road full of art and like cool shops, but I'm not seeing much. Except, I mean, this is the first murales that I see. It's really like nice, but we've seen better in San Francisco, don't we? So now I would love that cold drink. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna stop on those stairs and check out the map for the 1000th time. At least now I know that where I am is on the map. Ooh. There you go. Oh, okay. Alberta and 8th Avenue. Okay, that's exactly where the interesting part is supposed to start, from 9th Avenue further. Oh my god. I love maps. Let me drink some water. Something I would never do if I were in New York City, by the way. Sitting on the ground. It's so gross there. Oh, okay. So up to 38th, it's supposed to be the cool area to explore. Sorry it took so long. I really should have looked at the map before going over it. Okay. Hello there. Yes, exact MAM. It doesn't rest. Would have sniffed at my back by now. Has anyone suggested you to go to Powell's bookstore, MJ? Stephanie asked. No. Ooh, audio says the buses in Portland used to have bike racks on the front. I've actually seen that. Where was I? I don't know, it was one of the previous 2 days. I've seen a bus and in the front there was a bicycle. I thought it was really cool. Never saw that before. JK, I'm glad you're enjoying my streams. Someone asked, are there Italian whose name is Jesus or Jesus? No, it's not a name in Italy. Gesù would be, but nobody's called like that, or nobody that I know or heard of. Okay, I see. Yeah, David wrote, homelessness is a big problem in Portland and Seattle. I was not aware of that. Actually, what I knew is that it was a big problem in San Francisco. But I haven't seen as many homeless people in San Francisco as I was expecting to. Okay. How are you doing? Wherever you are watching from. It's such a nice day today. Now it was getting really hot, but I think it's just the time for a drink, and you guys tipped for, I mean, some of you tipped for me to get a drink, and I'm really glad of that because I usually don't spend money on drinks or food from stores, but I'll do it in honor of you today. Okay, let's go. the meantime, I'm reading your comments. Hi, Fede is asking me what's my nationality. I'm Italian. I must say I see nothing interesting here right now, like so far. Really nothing interesting. But let's see. Ooh, I smell good food. Maybe it's from this Ethiopian place. Oh my god, it smells so good. It's like fried fish or something like that. Ooh, or there is another place there. Okay, some life is oh, we have a super chat. Lois, thank you for the $5. Here you go, drink up. Thank you so much, Lois. I appreciate it. Ah, look at this. Eritrean Community Association coming up. Hello. Ah, this type of place is so cool. And it's not like they have good weather here in Portland all that much, but they still enjoy being outdoors. Yeah, actually, this is one of those things that I noticed that I consider very West Coast, I think, because in the East Coast people don't hang out outdoors so much, which is so weird. To me, it's just so natural for human beings to hang out outdoors. But in New York, it feels like people really love to be in dark and closed spaces for some reason. Another bar here. Yes, looks like the women. I'm joking. I mean, it doesn't feel very nice to walk by. Spike the likes. Thanks, Ralph, for reminding us. Click the like button so you tell YouTube this is a valuable piece of content. Ah, they're such good-looking houses.
Not ones that you were concerned about what was going on. Never called.
I like this sign. Cocktails, beer, patio. Like, do you see anything particularly interesting here? Because I don't. I'm really a bit confused now. Good morning, Adamancio. Electric lettuce. Refer grass, weed and more. Hello, Victoria. I'm surprised this time that nobody in the chat is from Portland. Because in San Francisco, plenty of you were either from San Francisco or lived in San Francisco or knew the city. You kept giving me suggestions or directions. Not this time, I see. Oh, okay, something more interesting happening. Okay, maybe we found the place. Cafe. Ooh. This is another one of those little things that I like about America that show their creativity. We live in a world that is full of beauty, charm and adventure. There is no end to the adventures we can have if only we seek them with our eyes open. Well said. Very well said. Wow, this is eclectic. Oh, this is a doctor office apparently. Amazing. And these are some interesting bike racks as well. Original. Tin shed. It looks like a nice cafe I could stop at. Yaya restaurant, Canto barbecue. Alberta Co-op coming. I want to check that out. Okay, let's cross the street maybe. Ooh, yes, I like that spot. So apparently food carts are also a big thing here. I'm gonna show you what that sign says. Conscious sedation beer garden. Oh my god, this looks very funky. I have no idea what that means. But this is one of those areas that Portland is famous for. Like little corners of the city, maybe there are old parking lots or stuff like that where they park food carts and serve food and drinks. See this one, for example. It's a pity that it's closed now. Mexican food, sushi, Thai food. Looks kind of close, not happening very much. But here we have a Alberta co-op grocery right there. That sounds interesting. But let's go on.
When you're walking home.
Ooh, there's more stuff. Okay. I was just really walking in the wrong spot. Hemandings. I know exactly where you are. Oh yeah, do you have any nice spot for a cold, refreshing drink to suggest? Yank's noodle coming. So it seems like Portland is also famous for vintage stuff. Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh, let's go there. I found my spot. Look at that. The Community Cycling Center. Oh, I love those words all together so much.
Well, yeah.
Hemandis. No. Amethyst. Are you for a specific reason in Portland after going to San Francisco? Well, yes. These kind of more personal reasons I share with my patrons. So if you're interested to get some behind the scenes of the channel, you can check out my Patreon page. It's linked in the description of each one of my videos. I have a Patreon page, which is a different platform where I upload extra content. I usually do extra videos there, like weekly videos, updates of my personal and professional life. So you get some behind the scenes of how I shot certain videos of my channel. So if you're interested in all that, consider supporting me through that platform. You can pledge any amount of money monthly, starting from $1, and you'll get all that content, your choice. Bike shop. Ah, if you've been with Watershed and Mary Jane long enough, you know how much I love bicycles and the social value that they have and that they bring. Oh, we have someone from Japan. Hello. I'm not able to read your name, unfortunately, but hello, glad to have you here. Another cool murales on the left. If some of my moderators can block this spamming account, Tinder X. Ah, thank you. This is made is a sculpture made in a sort of a very cool mosaic of a bear. It's pretty great, I must say. Oh, this is so Portland. Even if I've been staying here for such a short time, but I can tell that this is so Portland. Oh, we have a noble architect, cast concrete, ceramic, tile and steel, facilitator of rich ecosystems, benefactor of the past, builder of the future. This sculpture honors the majestic beaver. Oh my god, that was not a bear, sorry. This ignorant Italian about wildlife. Majestic beaver that once abundantly inhabited and thrived this area. The beaver, called Ina by the Chinook, faces the rising sun, looking for a day when humans and nature harmonize. City of Portland Public Art Collection, Regional Arts and Culture Council. Wow. Oh, I like this very much. Oh god, this is the type of public art that has an actual meaning to me. Hello, beaver. See you later. So this building with this nice murales, the mural says building legacy. Let me zoom in if I can. Yes, building legacy brick by brick. This is Center for Equity and Inclusion. I also feel like this is a very Portland thing. Vegan Jewish deli. This is a bar. Oh, it's Japanese. They serve sake there.
I think Jonathan's been working in the garden.
Petite Provence. Okay, people seem to like French cuisine here. Ooh. Trade Up Music Co. This looks cool, but it also looks close. Is it closed or not? Let me put the mask on and I'm gonna go in. Hello.
Do you know where it is?
I got two seat. I just happened to see your combo.
First time I see violins in the United States. Clarinets. Flute. Not sure how this type of flute is called in English. Oh, this is a full room of ukuleles.
Sopranos, and this is the tenors.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I had to come outside because the connection was not good there. Oof. Eco vibe. Came here because there is this murales.
Sorry.
No problem. Ah, this is just decorative. So I propose this type of shops. They're just super cute and everything, and it's nice that they have probably decor and furniture made with eco-sustainable materials. Yes, but it's the same thing that I was talking about earlier. We don't want to just swap the plastic with eco-friendly materials. We just want to reduce the stuff that we consume. So we just want to reduce change the business from materialistic to something else. Like this is not the solution. It's just not. So yeah, cool and everything, but first of all, this stuff is so expensive that only really very wealthy people can afford to buy this kind of decor for their house. And second, like literally, you see those wood ladles, $40 each. Like, who buys a wood ladle for $40? Wood salad servers with bamboo wrapped handles, $40. Like, this does not solve our climate changing problem. It does not. I mean, if you're wealthy, you want to shop at these shops, yes, please do, but keep in mind that those are not the solution. And I think they're rather damaging. So I consider them damaging rather than neutral, because I think that they just distract us from the actual important actions that we need to take. Like, the action we need to take against climate change is not to shop at these places because they are eco-friendly. We need to just stop shopping if we don't need stuff. Okay, let me stop because then I get too passionate. The Hilt. This looks like a nice place.
Are you guys like an ad campaign salesman for rice? Big rice. Big rice. No, it's just a very durable question. What was the 7th March?
So if you're watching in replay, I'm not talking so much now because there is no internet connection, like the connection is unstable, so people live could not hear me. I would love to stop here to grab something, but yeah, I cannot because there is no internet connection. But maybe you might be interested in the prices of drinks. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back just because the internet connection is not good. Although there would be more interesting blocks that way. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. and just hope that the connection will come back because it's been off for a couple of minutes now. Deep dish pizza bottle shop, via Chicago. Huh. Well, one day I'm gonna finally visit Chicago and try their deep dish pizza. Not gonna do it in Oregon. Ah, this is the famous salt and straw. Hi. So this place is famous because they have ice cream with any type of flavor, like very kind of quirky. Not sure if you see the prices there on the right for all non-Americans. I let you be shocked. Yeah, again, there's no connection here, so I will have to get out and continue walking.
I know. Eat get 24. I know.
But they don't even want to do density, like sort of like what we've been seeing in
Yes.
downtown Portland. They don't want to do like cool,
No.
bigger space.
Ooh, nice car.